So this is the easy quilt frame that I've made for Elaine, and you can see there's 3 tubes and 2 side pieces. This is the arrangement when it's all being prepared. So there's 2 end pieces, 3 tubes with fittings at the end, which I'll go into in detail in a moment, and then the extra pieces are for rolling on the table, the 2 storm drain pipes, if you like. They're a metre long. The white tubes there are 1 metre by 20 mil internal diameter, and they're just off-cut sections available off the shelf. They're about $2 each. The board to make the side pieces. Here I've got a sample on the floor that's similar board to the MDF that the 2 at the top are, and this would suffice, and it's about 6 mil thickness. Now here's a board set out for both end pieces. It's probably easy to drill the holes and set the slots by putting 2 drill holes and then either using drill holes to make the rest of it and cleaning it out with a file, or use a router, which is what I used. The holes that will be drilled in these end pieces are 25 mil to take the outside diameter of the white tubes. The slots are 6 millimeter. They're just approximate dimensions that work. I've used 4s and a bit for drilling the holes, but any wood drilling bit would do. And then I've had to clean out the holes to make a nice easy fit onto the white tubes with a rotary emery paper. And the other things that are needed to fasten onto the ends are 6 of these washers made out of the same material with a 19 mil diameter hole, which will take the end fittings, which I'll show in a moment. Right, here I've got the 1 metre by 20 mil reticulation pipe with the end fitting and a flange on the 20 millimeter pipe, spacing washer, and a system for tightening the whole assembly. Now the end pieces fit on over the 20 mil pipe like that. The spacing washer goes on, and that allows you then to tighten the whole assembly together against the flange. That's nice and firm, and that provides enough tension so that you can tighten up the fabric on the frame. So this is the way that was put together on the sample pieces here. 20 millimeter pipe, and you can either use the extension adapters that slide on and allow you to join pipes, pipe joiners, or you could use an end cap. Put that on like that. You need to cut off 6 mil width to make a flange. That slides onto the pipe. Should slide on nice and easily. Slide that on, and then you take your end piece and find out what the width is. That's too small. Put that in through there, and you want the 20 mil pipe so that it is only just on the edge there, so that you can tighten the washer onto the face of the end plate. So we move the flange to about 6 millimeters from the end, which is just about there, maybe a little bit further back, a little bit, just a touch there, And then what I'm going to do is mark that with a pencil, take the flange back, and then apply a bit of UPVC glue. Just make sure I don't get this all over the carpet, otherwise I'll be in trouble. So then put on a bit of glue around here. Doesn't have to be all the way around, but it might as well if I've got some on the brush. Might as well put it all the way around there. So that goes all the way around, and then just slide your flange back towards where you want it. That will do it there, I think. I can just quickly check that before it sets. Yeah, that'll be fine. If this sticks on hard and you can't move it anymore, you can always cut some off of there, but don't make it too small, otherwise it won't fit the end cap on too well. Then you've got to put in the screw system, which is from one of these rising tubes, one of these rising adapters. These are the adjustable ones. You can cut bits off and get your reticulation jets at different heights. So I cut off about that much. This is in fact a piece from the middle here, where I've cut one piece there and that piece there and left me with that. This will do fine, and that goes into the pipe. You see this, the flanges on this just fit into the 20mm pipe, and I can push that in with one of these adapters, save getting my hands belted, or knock it in with a hammer. Let me just get rid of this glue before I spray it all over the place. There we go. And then we just tap until that flange is just inside the pipe. If you go too far, you can always pull it out, because the pull out, I've not glued these in yet, I've found no need to. There we are. There's the tightening system, all ready to go. I mean, it's obviously not, glue's not set yet, but that's the system. And that works well. The beauty of this system is also that we could use these adapters and we can extend the pipe if we wanted to. So instead of having a 1 metre framework, we could make it whatever length we like. Just put one of those on across there. You wouldn't have to have the flanges on there, and you could make it 2 metres. I wouldn't think you'd want to frame any bigger than 1.5 or 2 metres. Now, one problem I'm finding with the push fit into the 20mm tube is that the tubes are not always uniform, so this can be a little bit loose. So what I'm trying now is just to put a little bit of adhesive in there, and I'm using some stuff here called Power Fix. See how effective that works. I just put a little bit down here, take that out of the way. Just put a bit in this back of here, like this. And that should be enough to fix that into place. Just use that to tap this in. I've got my trusty hammer. Oh, too far. Pull that out till the flange is just visible. That should do that. And then wipe off the excess. I don't want to get everything glued together. And that should be holding nicely. An alternative is to use these 19mm riser pipes. You can get them at various lengths, so obviously these are not going to be big enough for a full-size frame. And what I've done to make the flange, which is equivalent to this flange here, is to cut off a piece about 6 to 8mm from one of these extension pieces. So I've cut that little bit off at the end there, and I'm using that as a flange. So when you come to connect your end plate, that fits into there, but of course you would have a 19mm or 20mm hole that would fit into, which is the equivalent to that. And then your cut end there, you could use that, will fit against that, and you've got your fitting in one. And that'd be quite useful. You might even get a couple of those set together. The other advantage of this screw system is that you can make your frame longer by joining on either another white tube or a small piece of this riser pipe. You'd really want to be using the same material so that the fabric rolls around it properly, so probably better to use the 20mm white pipe if you wanted to extend. You can always shorten this, of course, by cutting the white tube and adding another screw system in the end.